to another tutorial today. I'm David Enoch, and today we'll be introducing us to CSS3, and from the WordBrain Academy, I'll be introducing us to CSS3 today in today's class. Now, CSS is basically your cascading style sheet, like so. Cascading style sheet. Basically what this does for us is it enables us to style or to apply certain rules to our HTML document. So we use the CSS to style, to add style, like color, position, display methods, and all of that. So we're going to be styling, looking at one of the previous tutorials. We'll be trying to apply our styles to one of our tutorials. Okay, so I'm going to basically, I'm going to select this one here. Okay, this is one of the tutorials we've done. Okay, we looked at some tags, h1, keystroke, and all of that, paragraph tags, heading 1, and on and so forth. So we're going to be looking at introduction to CSS3. Now, before then, CSS is a default styling language of the internet. So that means that by default, CSS rules are applied directly to HTML documents. Okay, so uh, there are three ways of applying CSS to every HTML document. We have the inline method, there is the internal method, and there is the external method. Now, the inline method applies CSS rules straight or directly to HTML elements. It applies directly to HTML elements, like so. Okay, using the style attributes. Okay, we talked about attributes in one of our HTML classes previous, and yeah, if you follow that tutorial, and by now you'll be familiar with what I mean by attributes. So um, CSS is applied as attributes, okay, to HTML elements, okay. If you want to use the inline method, that is. So this is a paragraph I have here, P. All right, I have a paragraph here, P, and let's say let's don't forget that my paragraph P encompasses all of this, like so. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to view this in a browser. Okay, so just have to wait for that for the browser to load. Yeah, so this is it. Okay, so I'm going to apply CSS to this paragraph. Maybe just give it maybe a red color, text color red. Okay, so I'm going to have to do something like this. Okay, so here's my paragraph. Now we use the style attribute if I want to do this inline. Okay, so I can have corner, and now a CSS declaration. Now we have what is called CSS declarations. CSS declarations are made up of properties and values. Okay, properties that specify what you want to do, what particular style you want to do, and then the value that specifies okay, the value of a property. For example, color has to do with property. It means I want to color my paragraph, the text in the paragraph. If I wanted to color um, the background area, that's going to be background color. Okay, background color as a property, and the value. Just so you know, in CSS we try to avoid the equals to sign, so we use the colon. All right. So the value for a background color property could be anything: red, could be blue, whatever color. Now you can actually use a color name, for example, red. Okay. If you use a color code, hex code, there are about 3 or 4 ways of representing colors. If you want to represent color in CSS, you can use the background color, the color name red, for example. You can use a hex code like so, hash ff1234 and so on, usually 6. Okay, digits and all. You could use an RGB value like so, RGB value. Okay, you can have which is RGB basically stands for red, green, and blue. The degree of red, green, and blue, a particular color. Okay, and a mixture, kind of a degree of you know these ones. So you can have, and usually we have not more than each color combination should not exceed 255. So you can have 25500 from 0 to 255. All right. So basically, there are several ways you can. There's also you can specify the HSL value. Okay. The HSL value has to do with the hue and saturation value and so forth. So, but for now, we can just stick with the color name red. Okay. So I have it here, inline. So inline, you go straight to the HTML element. In this case, my P paragraph, and then I style it with a background color of red. Okay, then I'm just going to change that to color. All right. Okay, I don't want a background color, just want color red. All right, so I'm going to refresh my browser, and it's going to give me my red color. So my paragraph has that red color, text color. All right. So this is one of the ways of specifying color. Now we're going to see more on this in our next tutorial, but right now we're going to just go straight to something. There are three ways of making CSS, applying CSS to your HTML. You can do inline, you can do internal, and there's the external method. All right. Now for the internal method, all CSS rules are placed within the head section. All right. Like so, here's a head section, right within the head section. So you have all CSS rules placed within our head section, like that. Okay, like this. Okay, so this type attribute is quite optional. Okay, since CSS is default styling language. Now, in between our style tags, we can then have our CSS rule, like so. We can have now, if you want to use the internal method, there's three ways of doing that. You can have the HTML selector first. Select a particular HTML element, for example, this. Okay, so just like we did here, we have the P, and we styled it with the color red. So we selected this P, okay, by adding this CSS root to it. So we can just have a P here, okay, or whatever HTML selector. So here goes with our selector, okay. Please don't write HTML selector, okay. Replace it with a particular HTML selector. It could be a P, it could be your H1, it could be your H2, whatever. So you have basically you have a HTML selector. Okay, so selector can be anything, right? And then we have curly brackets. Now CSS uses curly brackets. Curly brackets. This way, you might ignore this when you want to use it inline. Okay, all right. So when you want to use CSS inline, the original HTML bracket like this actually covers the whole thing. Okay, so we have the P, the bracket. So everything is written as attributes within the HTML bracket. But for in CSS internal method, which is what we're doing now, the internal method, we use the curly bracket, and inside it you write your CSS property. It could be background color, it could be color, it could be whatever CSS property you want, and then you have the CSS value. Now we're going to be seeing some examples in the next tutorial, okay, and then the CSS value. So if my CSS property is say color, the CSS value could be red, all right, red. Now every CSS declaration ends with a semicolon. So we have a semicolon at the end of every CSS declaration, and we can have as much declaration as we want, but we have another CSS property. Okay, so that's property and value. All right, as much as possible. We're going to be looking at some examples very soon. Okay, so we have a HTML selector or selector element selector. Okay, whatever you want, depending on the resource you're looking at. You have a selector here, and then you have the CSS. Okay, declarations. We have the CSS declarations. We have the first statement here, property and value. We have the second statement, and it goes on and on and on. Now, whatever CSS rules we specify, okay, will be automatically applied to this. Okay, okay. Now we're going to look at this the third method of applying CSS. All right, applying CSS. Okay. Now we'll be looking at external method. Okay, the external method. Now in the external method, we're going to be having a different file. Okay, okay, like so. We're going to be having a different file, like so, very unique file. All right, I'm going to save that as okay, CSS intro. You can actually save that as whatever, really. CSS intro dot. Now we're going to have to save that as CSS, dot CSS. So it's basically a CSS file. All right, so it's a CSS file, and I'm going to give us an example. I'm going to have to remove this, but you can leave it. Is okay. It's definitely okay. So I'm going to have to select every paragraph here now. P. All right, and I'm going to have to give it. Uh, color and red. Simple. So all paragraphs will have a color red. Alright, I'm going to save this and I'm going to have to refresh my browser, and I'm going to refresh my browser to see the effect. Alright, so every paragraph has color red. Okay, now we'll definitely have to, we'll definitely look into this in case, okay, if you want to select just one paragraph out of the many paragraphs you have, I'm going to be showing us how to do that. So let's move on. We're definitely going to move on. Now this is an internal method. What I had here before was inline. Here's the internal method. Now if I want to do the external method, what I'm going to do is very simple. I'm going to have to take this off here.